in my remarks this afternoon, I want some experiences from classrooms we've been working, and in particular to talk about some of the areas of our work in South Africa related to in-class teacher coaching and materials development, which is in mathematics education, with a particular focus on mathematics education grades. And in my first slide, to show you a video clip of children responding to the video, which I'll talk about, talks about some children sharing counters among 3 dolls, and this is they're doing on their the 5th day of their school career. They've never been to school, and they're able to solve this problem quite sharing the counters among the dolls. And this is long before they've counted up to 8, before they really have learned very much about mathematics. And I wanted to make the point that children come to school with an enormous to solve problems, and how unfortunately, because in my next slide you who was asked the question, Sarah has 15 toppies. She has 5 toppies in a packet can, and the boy responds and writes 3. But when the teacher asked him how to explain how he got the 3, he wrote that 15 minus 12 is equal to 3. And the point of the story being, he has learned that mathematics is more about producing a number sentence than it is about a number sentence that makes sense, or actually making sense of the situation. I'm going to skip the next, because apparently you can't see them. But I have several more slides of how children at a very young age begin to write things that don't make sense at all. And it reminds me of the French didact Rousseau. The more explicit behavior I wish my display, the more likely it is that they will display that behavior without recourse to the understanding that behavior is meant to indicate. That is, the more likely they will take them for. And in our work in the early grade classrooms in South Africa, we have found that that's exactly the case, is that children from a very early age begin to do what it is that they think the teacher wants them to do, without any appreciation for what it is that they're actually doing, to what is mathematics. And my sense is that we can characterize mathematics either as the memorization of facts, rules, formulas, and procedures needed to determine the answers to questions, or on the other end of the spectrum, mathematics is much more of a meaningful, sense-making, problem-solving activity. And the way in which we teach children mathematics gives them one or either of these experiences, and it is very much the way we teach that informs experience mathematics, and how they experience mathematics informs how they learn it and what they learn and how proceed with it. And so I wanted to tell the story of the work in class in class mathematics teacher coaching, where we've had the privilege of working on a number of projects where we've been able to work with teachers for extended periods of time, providing daily English for about 3 days a week, and for often as long as a year or longer. Agenda that we have set for ourselves while working with these teachers in their classrooms is to help to teach and experience mathematics as a sense-making activity, to focus our work on the development of this, because our And I'll stop there.
Arnaud, thank you so much for that presentation. That was great. And apologies again to everyone about the technical problems, but Arnaud, thank you for giving, despite the very clear. Now the slides are showing up for some I'm not sure what happened, but if there are any questions for Arnaud, if you could just type them into the chat box, I'll share the slides with everybody after the presentation. Now they appeared again, so I'm not sure the issue is Arnaud, then I can email them to.
Yeah. You will. I absolutely will.
Okay. Well, despite that, it came out well, the presentation. Noah Yarrow from the World Bank, he has a question. He wants to know if there's any evidence of impact on student learning.
Yes. What we have, I live in a province of South Africa called the Western Cape, and the Western Cape Provincial Education Department conducts annual assessments of grade 3, 6, and 9 students or pupils. And what they do is they publish results by school. In fact, they publish results by class within a school. And for 4 of the schools that we've been working with, the performance of the schools improved over the 3 years that we've been working with them, from below the provincial average to above the provincial average, and quite significantly so. And we do take some of the credit for this. So at the moment, it's the best we have.
He says thanks. And he also asks, what about cost?
Right. The workbooks themselves are not expensive. The workbooks themselves cost approximately $2, and so at 4 workbooks a year, the work out at about $8 per pupil per student per year. The cost of the in-class coaching is expensive. It in terms of scalability, it seems unlikely that you could take this to a large scale, but I think what the teacher support is showing, so the cost of the teacher training does suggest that with a certain amount of in-class support, teachers can begin to change their practice. And I suppose the challenge for the next phase of the project is to see how can we multiply this effect without necessarily being in every teacher's classroom.
Thanks, Arnaud. And Noah has another follow-up question or comment. He said, I would think no in-class teacher training would be more.
I think that's absolutely true. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I think the materials are certainly having an impact on some schools where schools are using them by themselves, but those are generally more middle-class type schools where the teachers have a certain understanding of mathematics and what they're doing. In the low socioeconomic status schools, we have no success when we just supply the books. So you're absolutely right. Without in-class coaching, we have no hope.
Okay, thanks, Arnaud. And
thank you very much.
Anyone else have any questions? Noah says thanks. Any other questions from anyone? Okay.
Absolutely. Please send them my email address, and please do.
After we send the slides out. At that time, if they have any questions, they can contact you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. No more questions. I'm going to go ahead and end the session. Thank you so much. I
Thank you very much.
apologize for all the technical problems, but your presentation was still very good despite the slides not being present or
Great pleasure.
not being shown.
Thank you.
But I will send the slides around to everybody afterwards as soon as I get the email from you. So thank you again, everyone, for joining the presentation, and thank you very much, Arnaud, for giving the presentation today. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks again.